I've gotten all of my things laid out on what it is that I want to make sure are done by the time that I go to the convention. I made a list. I sorted it out by order priority. I guess you could say most important to least important, at least from my perspective. These might need to change a little bit by the time I get to that point though. So for starters is events. I need to make sure that I have the events that I want to go to listed, scheduled, documented, and in place. I believe I have them all ready, so that's good. I'll probably go over and think about some stuff just to make sure, but trade day, that's already solidified. I already know exactly where I'm going with that. Thursday is interesting because I know there's a couple of things that I want to do, but then in the afternoon is where it gets interesting because I know that there's some specific games that I want to play, but I left that open for the exhibit hall because I know that there will be plenty of opportunities to do a myriad of different things. I've left that open, basically not scheduling any events for Thursday. Friday, we've got a couple of things scheduled. I'm looking forward to, Dice Tower Live. As I said in my previous video, there's also other couple things that I've scheduled on there that I am excited about as well, but that I did not mention in the video. So yeah, Saturday, a few things. Sunday, nothing scheduled at all. So we'll see. We'll just play it by ear by then. I figure, I've got some generic tickets. By the time we get to that point, we'll either know whether or not we're super tired or if we're just interested in like making our way back to Detroit. So it just depends on how that goes. But yeah, so I know that events is pretty much done. The next important thing that has to be done before I go is Cloud Commander. So that's the game that I've been working on. I want to make sure that I have a demo copy available, but also some print and play copy / instructions available. So yeah, I think that's pretty important. I want to just be able to give people the opportunity to be able to try it out and just see what I've been working on. I still don't think that it is completely ready, which we'll talk about here in a second. But yeah, it's coming along quite nicely. But yeah, it's very important that I have these things taken care of. So yep, that's the second most important thing. Next is to launch my store. So what this includes is just being able to have my Yu-Gi-Oh cards up that I'm trying to sell. I want to make sure those are there. And, I am technically a retailer, because I'm selling cards retail. So that is, it's all set up, but I want to just launch it as being public at this point. So that's definitely important. But I've also considered listing a lot of the board games I have because I do have quite a bit of board games that I've never played. And I think it might be a good idea to get rid of some of those. But I don't know, maybe I'll keep them and just hang on to them in the event that, I need some extra stuff to play. Lastly, so we've got this last section is the nice to have. So I want to get some shirts, specifically shirts that say my name on them and have like a barcode or something like that for people to scan and go to my website or wherever else I want to point it to. So that's probably that's top of the list in terms of things that I'm interested in doing and something that I have to look into probably like right now if I'm going to do it, because I have to get the shirts that I'm going to use, but then also have the designs prepared and then make sure that the print shop will be able to execute those, but within these 18 days. So crunch time on that, but we'll see how that goes. It's a nice to have at the end of the day. So not a big deal if it doesn't happen. Next, this might be one thing that might change. I might move this up. I'm not sure, is to create a content checklist and perhaps a list of people to talk to. So I don't really have that right now. I know that I specifically wanted to do Rap Gods and talk to the individuals that are working on that game. But other than that, I don't want to be like, I don't want to seem like super clout chasing or anything like that. Just trying to walk around and find these specific people to pick their brain about different things. creating a content checklist that involves just like thinking of specific ideas for videos for the channel that I'd want to do beforehand, and then making sure that I am able to capitalize on that while I'm there. So that would be like, if I want to get some good shots of the exhibit hall, or if I want to get some good shots of the first exposure playtest hall, those types of things. I want to make sure that I have those types of things planned out before I go. But it's not completely necessary. Trade day is my main professionalism day, I suppose. I didn't want to put that unnecessary pressure on myself throughout the time that I'm there, and just really focus on enjoying the space, enjoying the games and whatnot. So that's why I have it as a nice to have. It definitely would be interesting and compelling if I was able to grab some specific pieces of content for you guys that you guys may find interesting. If you guys do want something specific, let me know in the comments below. I have quite a bit of footage from last year, but no real focus or direction on what it is that I wanted to show. So that's why none of that is on my channel right now, or at least not with any sound or anything like that. So that's part of the reason why I even put that there in the first place, is because afterwards I was like, okay, I have all this footage. I have no idea what I'm going to do with it, but I just have it. So it's probably a good idea for me to just focus on some specific things, but we'll see how that goes. And lastly is a website/social media. So I have my website up. It's available. People can go to it and access it, but it would be nice to have it in a better spot so that when people go to it, it's just a lot more impressive, especially if I'm going to be directing people to it with these shirts and things like that. It would just be nice to have something more concrete. I was thinking of a game of some sort that made a call to action to supporting me, or like a game that directs people to get more of my content in the future, I guess, or make it easier to do so. I don't know. It was just a thought, but all of that would need to be done within these 18 days, and I'm not sure I'd be able to get to that. So that's why it's last on the list. But at the very least, something more so that when people are able to look me up on the social media or go to my website, they'll just have a more concrete call to action for that. So going back to Cloud Commander, I already made a list on things that I want to make sure are done before things that I feel like are needed to get playtests ready. And this is just my overall forgive the my note taking here. It's just the way that I do things, because I'm constantly in these types of editors. Like, I don't really use anything else. I don't use Microsoft Word or anything like that. I do use Google Docs, but I just find these easier to maintain and look at. They're just constantly in my face, and I always have them here. So Sublime is a great tool. I use it all the time. But yeah, there's a lot of things that I want to do to make sure that I'm playtest ready. I don't think that all of these questions will be answered by then, and I may just use the feedback that I gather to be able to answer these questions, perhaps. But I know for sure, for me to send this out publicly in the traditional sense of getting people on different social media platforms and different forums and whatnot and start garnering attention, a lot of these questions will definitely need to be answered, such as game length. How much time is it? I need to make sure that it's specific. I need to make sure that it's within that time range that I feel is ideal. But also the specific aspect of the game, agendas. I need to make sure that when people are using them, there's a 55 to 65% battle win rate if an agenda is used, and you should only need to use an agenda about 40 to 50% of the time. That's just the ideal, what I'm looking for the game itself. And quite a bit of other things. Are there too many rules? Are the effects too long? These are just questions I'm looking to answer somehow. So, but I need to make sure that I have them answered before I get to that point where I'm ready with this. So yeah, and I felt like if I can do 3 successful games with no changes at all, then that'd be like a huge advancement for me, because I feel like after every single game I make a change, and that's really not good. I need to get buckled down on that. Especially, it's definitely not good when you're making multiple changes, because you never really know specifically where the problem is. You might just be overcorrecting. So yeah, quite a bit of other things. Tabletop simulator, add names to individual cards, write synopsis of the rules. Yeah, that's definitely important. Well, not super important actually. If I'm doing just playtesting, it's probably better to just explain the rules. Definitely need a survey of some sort for people to kind of rein in people's thoughts, what they thought of the game, and create those components necessary for people to access and download the game. Get into the focused playtest groups with other designers. The last thing here is print shirts and stuff for branding. That's definitely not needed, but as you can see, it's the last thing. But so yeah, that's something that is in the pipeline here. I didn't want to like bore you guys with more just playtesting, more of my internal playtesting for the game itself. So after I've gotten to this point, or after successful games with no changes, I'll do another video, another game to show off where I'm at specifically with that. And yeah, that's when I'll be much more confident in what I have, and hopefully that's the version that I'll be taking with me to Gen Con. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this. This should be pretty interesting. And yeah, if you guys see me at Gen Con, feel free to say hello. I'm always happy to meet new people. I'm looking forward to that aspect of it as well. But if you're interested in, I guess, competitive two-player card games that are kind of like TCGs and whatnot, this specifically is not a TCG. It's closer to well, I would just call it a card game for now. I don't even know if it would be expanding, but yeah, it's just a two-player card battling strategic game. So if you guys are interested in that, yeah, let me know, and I'd be happy to show it off to you. But otherwise, hope you guys have fun at Gen Con. What are you guys looking forward to out of the event and out of the convention? What are some specific events that you guys are going to? And also let me know if there's anything that I should be aware of that you may not, that may be like kind of low key that most people aren't aware of. Definitely interested in anything that might come from that. So yeah, otherwise I'll see you guys there. Peace.